All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into something really intriguing.
Yeah, a real head scratcher.
This is one that, you listeners sent us a bunch of info on. And I've got to
It's
say,
pretty wild.
yeah, this whole Cicada 3D301 thing.
Yeah, you know those cryptic puzzles that popped up online back in, what was it, 2012?
Yeah,
And they had everyone trying to figure them out, like armchair detectives to
yeah,
serious cryptographers,
totally. And what's so fascinating is it went way beyond your typical, online scavenger hunt.
Right. We're talking some seriously intricate puzzles here. They combine cryptography, steganography, cybersecurity, even obscure literary references.
It's crazy. It definitely wasn't some amateur thing. It, suggests a group with some serious resources and skills.
Absolutely. A deep understanding of how to create a complex web of
Yeah,
riddles.
exactly. So let's try to unpack this together. Imagine it's January 4th, 2012, just a normal day.
Yeah.
And suddenly, boom, this anonymous post appears on 4chan, signed only 3301.
Oh, yeah, 4chan. Known for, well, let's just say a wide variety of content.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
But this post stood out. It had this simple black and white image
Okay.
with a message. It said, "We are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test."
It was like a bad signal, but for, the internet's brainiest folks.
Right. Calling all masterminds.
And people definitely noticed.
Oh, absolutely. It was the perfect mix of mystery and challenge. Who wouldn't want to prove their intelligence and unravel a cryptic puzzle? I mean,
Right,
irresistible.
total brain candy.
Absolutely. And the online world was buzzing.
Okay, so where did this puzzle lead?
Mhm.
The first clue was hidden inside the image itself. Like if you open the image with a text editor instead of an image viewer, you'd find all these random characters.
Yeah, total gibberish at first glance, but if you knew what to look for,
Yeah.
there was this crucial clue, the word Caesar.
As in Roman emperors, not salad.
Exactly. It was a hint to use the Caesar cipher to decode the message hidden within all that code. Caesar cipher is cryptography 101.
Right.
Substitution cipher. Each letter in the original message is replaced by another letter, a certain number of positions down the alphabet.
Makes sense.
Been used for centuries, but still super effective when used cleverly.
So to crack this code, you needed to know about the Caesar cipher
Uh-huh.
and then experiment with different shift values,
To see if you can make sense of the message.
like trial and error.
Exactly.
And guess what?
It worked.
It totally did. The decoded message led to another image.
The plot thickens.
Right. So here's where the puzzle gets even more layered. It wasn't just about knowing one technique.
You had to connect the dots,
Yeah.
see the bigger picture.
And the second image held an even deeper secret.
Buried in the image data, not visible to the naked eye.
Tricky.
You needed a specific tool to find it. A steganography program called OutGuess.
Okay, now.
Steganography,
Yeah.
that's the art of hiding messages within other files, images.
That's-
Super sneaky. It's like hiding a secret in plain sight. And this particular choice of technique
Yeah.
was a clear sign that the creators of this puzzle
Yeah.
were serious about weeding out the casual participants.
You had to know your way around these digital tools and techniques,
Yeah,
right?
Totally. It was like a virtual obstacle course for your mind.
I like that.
And the clues kept coming.
They did.
So the instructions you extracted with OutGuess,
Yeah.
they led to another challenge. This one involved prime numbers.
Prime numbers,
Okay.
those numbers that are only divisible by one in themselves.
Exactly. Specifically, the prime numbers that represented the dimensions of the image itself.
Okay.
Now, if math wasn't your strong suit, this
Yeah.
might have been where you gave up. But for those who kept going, there was a light at the end of the tunnel.
So solving this prime number puzzle
Mm-hmm.
revealed a website address.
Yep. And when you visited this site, you were greeted with a countdown timer.
Ooh, suspense.
An image of a cicada.
A cicada.
Yeah, so the cicada became the symbol of this whole Cicada 3301 thing.
Makes sense. It's a pretty, mysterious creature.
Totally. And it's fitting, don't you think? Cicadas are known for their, long periods of dormancy before emerging into the world.
Right.
Maybe it was a hint about the nature of the organization behind it all.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
Were they, lying in wait, observing, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves?
I like where your head's at.
It was pretty tantalizing. But the puzzle wasn't over yet.
Oh, no, not even close.
On January 9th, the website updated with a new set of clues, a list of GPS coordinates, scattered across the globe.
This was such a brilliant twist. Suddenly, the puzzle wasn't just online anymore.
Right.
It was spilling over into the real world. It demanded, like, action, not just sitting at your computer.
I can just imagine people actually travel to these places, right? Following these cryptic clues laid out by who knows
Or
who.
just something straight out of a movie, right?
Totally. And
Okay.
what did they find at these locations?
Posters. More cicadas, of course.
Okay.
But these posters also had a new piece of the puzzle. QR codes.
Ooh, QR codes. Back in 2012, those were still kind of new.
Yeah, pretty cutting edge at the time.
And scanning these QR codes
led to more puzzles. But these puzzles, with their cryptic messages and references to, like, obscure texts, they were starting to hint at something deeper.
more than just a game.
Absolutely.
And one of these clues pointed to a 16th century book, The Book of the Law of Death, by John Dee. Now, John Dee wasn't just any historical figure.
This guy was a scholar, an occultist,
Yeah.
advisor to Queen Elizabeth I,
Wow.
a man of secrets, a man of knowledge.
Makes you think, right?
It does?
Was there a message in this choice of text? Were they looking for someone with not just technical skills, but also a deep understanding of, like, history, philosophy, the occult?
It's a question that lingers as we delve deeper into this mystery, and trust me, things are about to get even more intriguing.
All right, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Because that final clue in this first round of the Cicada 3301 puzzle led to a place few dare to tread, the dark web. But we'll have to save that journey for the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we're back, diving deeper into the mystery of Cicada 3301.
You know, it's amazing how these puzzle solvers
Yeah.
were willing to go out into the real world
Yeah, actually travel to places.
to chase down these clues.
Yeah.
It shows how committed they were.
Oh, absolutely. This wasn't just some game to them.
Right. It was like something more, something deeper.
It was a challenge.
A real test of their, like, abilities.
And you know what's really unique about Cicada 3301?
What's that?
Is this blend of the digital and physical.
Yeah, it's not just online.
It goes beyond the internet
It reaches out into the, like, tangible world,
and demands action.
not just, like, thinking about it.
Right, you have to get up and go.
Exactly. You have to be there in the moment.
So remember those QR codes?
Yeah.
The ones on the Cicada posters.
Oh, yeah, those are key.
They weren't just there for decoration.
No. Each one led to a new website. And guess what was on those websites?
More cicadas.
You got it. More cicada images. But these were special.
How so?
They were encoded with, like, hidden messages.
Oh, so more steganography.
Exactly. You needed those special tools again to extract the information.
So Cicada 3301 was really looking for a specific type of person.
Yeah, someone with both the technical skills
Right.
and the, like, problem-solving abilities.
To crack these multi-layered puzzles.
And as the puzzles went on, the knowledge needed,
Yeah.
it expanded.
Beyond just code breaking.
Right. It became about literature, history, philosophy, even art.
Remember that John Dee book, The Book of the Law of Death?
Oh, yeah, that was a big clue.
It wasn't just randomly chosen.
It was a signal. They wanted someone who was well-versed
Well-read.
in a lot of different areas.
Like a modern-day Renaissance person.
Exactly. Someone who was, like, intellectually curious.
Always thirsting for knowledge.
That's the kind of mind they were after.
And it wasn't enough to just know the facts.
Right. You had to understand the connections.
The patterns,
and for meaning.
to see the world from a new perspective.
Exactly. And speaking of seeing things from a new perspective,
Okay.
our listeners sent in some really interesting detail
Oh, yeah?
about one of the puzzles. It really highlights this idea.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's dive in.
So remember that first image with the hidden message?
The one with the Caesar cipher.
That's the one. Now, most people thought that message was in English.
Yeah, English is pretty common online.
Right. But Cicada 3301 was always a step ahead.
So was it in English?
Oh.
What language was it then?
It was in Chinese.
Whoa, that's unexpected. So figuring out the language was a puzzle in itself
Exactly. And then you still had to decode it.
with the Caesar cipher.
Right. The message basically said, hello, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. This image contains a message. Find it, and it will lead you to us. We look forward to meeting the few that will make it all the way through. Good luck.
Yeah.
33301.
So they were setting the tone from the very start.
Making it clear this was a test of intellect and dedication.
And those clues were designed to test your thinking,
Yeah, to make you think outside the box.
to see connections that others might miss.
Like, for example, do you remember that the Caesar cipher message also included the phrase Tiberius Clavdifus Caesar?
Yes, that's the full name of Emperor Claudius.
You got it. And Claudius was the 4th Roman emperor.
Okay.
And guess what? To decode the message correctly,
Yeah.
you had to shift the letters 14 places down the alphabet.
14. Why 14?
Because the number 4, representing Claudius's position as emperor,
Oh, okay.
when added to the standard 10-place shift,
Right.
equals 14.
That's so clever. It's like a puzzle within a puzzle
You had to know history and cryptography.
to get the right answer.
And that was just the beginning.
Seriously.
There's more.
Oh, yeah. The decoded message led to a URL
Okay.
that pointed to an image of a duck.
A duck. And the text with it said, "Whoops, just decoys this way. Looks like you can't guess how to get the message out."
So it was a trap
A misdirection.
to throw people off the trail.
But the ones who stuck with it,
Yeah.
they noticed the words guess and out.
Interesting.
And with that duck image,
Yeah.
it was a hint to use that OutGuess tool.
For steganography.
Right, to extract hidden data from the image.
It's like they were speaking in code.
Using subtle cues and references.
To guide the solvers along the right path.
And those who could decipher those hints,
Yeah.
they were rewarded with the next piece of the puzzle.
So what was it?
The OutGuess tool revealed a text file
Yeah.
with this message. "You have done well to come this far. Patience is a virtue. Check back at 1700 on Monday, 9 January 2012, UTC.
So they were testing your patience, too.
It wasn't just about brains
They'd be willing to wait.
to play the long game.
But even while you were waiting.
There was still work to be done.
Oh. How so?
This text file, it also had a string of random characters
Intriguing.
and 2 prime numbers, 1033 and 1109.
Prime numbers again. Seems like they're a recurring theme.
They are definitely important, and those specific prime numbers,
Yeah.
they were crucial for solving the next stage.
Okay, but first, what about that string of characters? What was that all about?
Well, remember that first image we talked about? The one with the hidden Chinese message?
Yeah.
It turns out there was another secret hidden in that image.
Another one. Seriously. These guys were masters of hiding things.
It's like they wanted to make sure only the most dedicated people would find everything.
So what was this other secret?
A string of 23 digits. 130-933-555-331-831-2355-33319.
Okay, a bunch of numbers. What did people do with those?
Well, they figured out that if you assign each letter of the alphabet a number...
Like A is 1, B is 2, and so on.
Right, you can convert that string of digits into letters.
Oh, interesting. So what do those letters spell out?
Cryptos ABC, DDF, J, Lomna, Portor.
Wait, CryptoS, isn't that famous sculpture?
Yes. The one at CIA headquarters.
The one with the unsolved code.
Exactly. They incorporated real-world mysteries into their puzzles.
So it wasn't just about games.
They were looking for people who could think outside the box.
To tackle real challenges.
And that reference to cryptos,
Yeah.
it signaled that things were about to get way more complex.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me what happened next.
So that 23-character string, the one with KRIP2S,
Yeah.
it was the key to unlocking the next layer.
Another Caesar cipher.
Not this time. They used something called a Vigenary cipher.
Vigenary cipher. I vaguely remember that.
It's like a more advanced version of the Caesar cipher.
Okay, refresh my memory.
It uses multiple shift values based on a keyword.
Making it harder to crack.
Right. Much more secure.
So in this case, the keyword was...
That 23-character string with KRIP2S.
Right.
And when you use that to decode the random characters...
From the text file?
It turns into something amazing.
What does it become?
Lines of text from a medieval Welsh collection. The Mabinogion.
Whoa. From code to ancient literature.
See? These puzzles were a journey through so many fields of knowledge.
And it gets even better. Remember that duck image? The decoy.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, after it was decoded...
With OutGuess.
Right. It had a numerical code, 255-2320, 9-14-54-19-14-1.
And remember how the message under the duck said book code?
Right, I forgot about that.
So people figured out this numbers referred to lines and words.
In the Mabinogion.
Exactly. But of course there was a twist.
Oh, there's always a twist with these guys.
That first number, 255,
Yeah.
it was another red herring.
Of course it was.
But the other numbers corresponded to specific lines and words.
So like a code book.
Exactly.
Okay, so what did those numbers spell out?
A phone number.
A phone number, so you actually had to call someone.
They blurred the lines between the digital and physical.
That's so cool. What did the message say?
Very good. You have done well. There are 3 prime numbers associated with the original final .jpg image. 3301 is one of them. You will have to find the other two. Multiply all three of these numbers together and add a .com on the end to find the next step. Good luck. Goodbye.
So they gave a little bit of a clue there.
Yeah, some instructions.
But you still had to work for it.
To find those other prime numbers.
And that's where the image dimensions come in.
You got it. Remember, 503 pixels wide, 509 pixels high.
And those are both prime numbers.
Exactly. So you have 503, 509, and 3301.
Multiply those together.
Add .com to the end.
And you get
845145127.com.
Which I'm guessing led to another cicada image.
Yep, you guessed it. But this one was different.
How so?
It wasn't static, it was dynamic, it changed over time.
Whoa. So the puzzles were evolving.
In real time.
That's a whole new level of complexity.
It added urgency. You couldn't just take your time.
What kind of changes are we talking about?
Imagine you scan the QR code and you see a cicada image.
Okay.
But as you watch, it starts to flicker.
Flicker.
And within those flickers, patterns emerge.
Like a visual puzzle.
Exactly. You had to use your knowledge of cryptography
To decode.
to decode the hidden messages.
Wow. So the clues were hidden in plain sight.
And as people deciphered those messages, they made an incredible discovery.
What was it?
The clues weren't random.
Okay.
They were interconnected, telling a story.
A story. Now we're talking. Tell me more.
The clues referenced historical figures, literature, philosophy, even art.
Like a tapestry of knowledge?
Connecting the past, present, and future.
And I bet the cicada played a role in this story.
Oh, absolutely. The cicada became a symbol.
Of transformation.
Adaptation.
Like the journey these solvers were on.
They're being pushed to evolve, to see the world differently.
It's like the creators were saying, we want people who can grow, who can adapt.
And as the puzzle went on, the clues got more and more esoteric.
Taking the solvers deeper into like philosophy and mythology.
That John Dee book was just the beginning.
Right. There were other texts, other ideas.
Challenging the solver's assumptions.
It's amazing how they turned a puzzle into an experience.
A journey of transformation.
Pushing the boundaries of what a puzzle could be.
It was like a work of art.
But what was their message? What were they trying to say?
That's the big
The
question.
one we're all trying to figure out.
And it's still debated today.
So where did it all lead? What was the final destination?
After weeks of solving, traveling, pushing their limits,
Yeah.
the solvers reached the heart of the mystery.
Yeah.
The final clue led to a website on the dark web.
The dark web. Sounds ominous.
And on that website, there was a message.
What does it say?
We want the best, not the followers.
That's it. No big reveal. No treasure.
That's all there was. And then silence. The puzzle stopped. Cicada 3301 vanished.
So we still don't know who they were or what they wanted?
Nope. Maybe that's part of what makes it so fascinating.
It's a puzzle that can't be solved.
A story that's still being written.
Right, so here we are,
Back in the thick of it.
trying to unravel this Cicada 3301 mystery.
You know, it's really amazing how these puzzle solvers, they
Yeah.
were so dedicated.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
cracked codes, they deciphered ancient texts.
They traveled all over the world.
All for that next clue.
And in this final part,
Yeah.
we're going to see their dedication put to the ultimate test.
So last time,
Yeah.
we ended on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Those GPS coordinates,
The ones that pointed to all those different places.
all over the globe.
Imagine that feeling.
Yeah, you've spent weeks on this puzzle,
Cracking codes.
solving riddles.
And then you have to actually go somewhere.
to a place you don't even know?
Not knowing what to expect.
Takes a special kind of person to do that.
Someone who's not afraid of the unknown.
Driven by curiosity.
So what happened when they got there?
To those locations.
Well, they found posters.
More cicadas, I'm guessing.
Of course. But
So
this
you-
time, the posters also had QR codes.
Oh, more QR codes.
And scanning those codes
Yeah.
led to websites, more
Yeah.
cicada images.
At this point, I'd be thinking, okay, what's going on here?
Right. Like,
Yeah.
is this some kind of elaborate prank?
But I'm guessing there was more to it.
Oh, yeah, much more.
What was different about these images?
They weren't just pictures.
Okay.
They were dynamic.
Dynamic.
They changed over time.
Whoa. So the puzzles were evolving?
Yeah, in real time.
That's crazy. You couldn't just, like, sit and think about it?
You had to be on your toes.
Always adapting to the changing clues.
So what kind of changes were we talking about?
Imagine you scan the QR code
Okay.
and you see this cicada image,
Mm-hmm.
but then it starts to flicker,
Flicker.
like a bad TV signal.
Okay.
But within those flickers,
Yeah.
patterns would emerge.
So, like, you had to, like, strain your eyes to see them.
Kinda. But it was more about using your knowledge
Of cryptography.
to
To decode the hidden messages. So, like, a visual puzzle.
Exactly. And as people solved it,
Yeah.
they realized something pretty amazing.
What was that?
The clues, they weren't random. Okay,
They fit together.
like pieces of a puzzle.
They were telling a story.
A story. Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
The clues started referencing, like, historical figures, literature, philosophy, even art.
Wow. It's like they were weaving a tapestry of knowledge.
Connecting everything together.
The past, the present, maybe even the future.
And you know what played a central role in this story?
The cicada,
Of course.
with its cycles of dormancy and emergence.
It became a symbol of transformation.
Adaptation. Kind of like the journey these solvers were on.
Exactly. They were being tested,
Pushed to their limits.
forced to evolve.
It's like the creators are saying, we don't just want problem solvers, we want people who can grow.
People who can adapt to anything.
And as the puzzles continued,
They got even deeper.
more complex.
More philosophical.
That John Dee book was just the tip of the iceberg.
Right. There were other texts, other ideas.
Things that challenged the way these solvers saw the world.
It's amazing, really.
They turned a puzzle into an experience.
A journey of personal growth.
It was like a work of art.
But the question remains,
What was their message?
what were they trying to say with all of this?
It's a question that still haunts us today.
And it's one we may never know the answer to.
So after weeks of all this,
The solving, the traveling,
all the mental
the
gymnastics,
solvers finally reached the end,
the final clue,
led them to a website
where was it?
on the dark web.
The dark web. Sounds a bit creepy.
It's a hidden part of the internet.
Full of secrets.
And on that website, there was a message.
Okay, what did it say?
We want the best, not the followers.
That's it. No grand explanation.
Nope, just that message.
And then what?
Silence. The puzzle stopped. Cicada 3301 disappeared,
Just like that.
gone without a trace.
So we still don't know who they were.
Or what they wanted,
It's like they vanished into thin air.
leaving us with more questions than answers.
It's a mystery that may never be solved.
But maybe that's part of its appeal.
It keeps us guessing.
Makes us wonder,
What if they come back?
will we be ready for the next challenge?
It's a mystery that will continue to fascinate us for years to come.
And who knows, maybe one day the cicadas will sing again.
And the game will begin anew.